5 years. That's how long it took me to learn the lesson I'm about to share with you. 5 years of spinning my wheels, feeling the gut-wrenching frustration of knowing I was capable of more, but never actually doing more. And my biggest regret in life isn't a bad investment, a failed business, or a relationship I let slip away. My biggest regret isn't something I did, it's something I was. For half a decade, I was trapped in a mindset that cost me momentum, opportunities, and the one resource you can never get back: time. It was a mental block that kept me in a state of constant preparation, always learning but never launching. The painful irony? This block is disguised as a virtue. It looks like diligence, like research, like responsible planning, but it's not. It's a sophisticated form of fear. And it's the single biggest barrier standing between you and the unshakable confidence you deserve. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, and I'm not just going to tell you what this mindset shift is. I'm going to give you the exact framework to implement it today, so you don't have to waste 5 years like I did. So, what was the trap I was in? It's something I see every single day in our community of growth seekers. The trap of consumption over creation. For years, my ambition was a fire hose, but my action was a leaky faucet. I wanted to start this channel. I wanted to build a side business. I wanted to get in the best shape of my life. I had the goals, and I thought the path to achieving them was paved with more information. So I consumed. I read every book on productivity. I watched every video on entrepreneurship. I listened to every podcast on mindset. My browser had 100 tabs open. My bookshelf was overflowing. My phone was filled with notes and screenshots of brilliant ideas. On the surface, it felt productive. I was learning, right? I was gathering intelligence, preparing for battle. But the battle never came, because I never stepped onto the field. This is the consumption trap. It's the belief that one more book, one more course, one more video will finally give you the magic key you need to start. It's the illusion of progress without any of the risk. And here's the brutal truth I had to face. Consumption is shallow work. Creation is deep work. Reading about building a business is not building a business. Watching a tutorial on coding is not writing code. Learning about confidence is not the same as taking the scary action that actually builds confidence. Competence isn't built in the library, it's forged in the arena. Every hour I spent passively consuming was an hour I wasn't actively creating, building, and becoming. I was a professional student, not a professional practitioner. And that was my biggest regret. I was waiting to feel ready, and that day simply never came. So why do we get stuck here? Why do we choose the comfort of consumption over the messy, uncertain work of creation? It's because we're waiting for the perfect moment. And that brings me to the second lie I told myself for 5 years. The myth of the perfect setup. The consumption trap is fueled by an even more dangerous idea, the myth of the perfect setup. You know what this sounds like. It's the voice in your head that says, "I'll start my business when I have more savings. I'll apply for that dream job when I get one more certification. I'll start creating content when I have a better camera and a nicer office. I'll finally commit to my health when work slows down." When. It's a lullaby for our ambitions. For 5 years, I waited for the right time. A time when I would feel 100% confident, have a flawless plan, and face zero uncertainty. Of course, that time never arrived, because it doesn't exist. This is the core insight that changed everything for me, and I need you to hear this loud and clear. Clarity is not a prerequisite for action. Clarity is a result of action. You don't think your way to a new life, you act your way into new thinking. You can't steer a parked car. You need momentum. You need to be moving. The first step you take, no matter how small or imperfect, gives you immediate feedback. You learn what works and what doesn't. The map is revealed not before the journey, but during it. Think of it like this. Everything great ever created started as a terrible first draft, a messy, imperfect, even embarrassing attempt. The first draft of a novel, the first prototype of an invention, the first workout after years of inactivity. The goal is not to get it right, the goal is to get it going. Action is the antidote to overthinking. It's the cure for procrastination. You have to be willing to create a messy first draft of your future. I wasted 5 years trying to write a masterpiece in my head instead of just putting a single, flawed sentence down on paper. But even understanding this isn't enough, because to make action automatic, you need to go one level deeper. You have to change not just what you do, but who you are. The true identity shift, the core transformation. This is it. This is the mindset shift I should have made 5 years ago. This is the change that finally unlocked everything. For years, my thinking was structured around goals. A goal is something you get. I want to get a promotion. I want to write a book. I want to build a YouTube channel. These are fine, but they are external. They are future-based. And when you don't feel motivated, the goal feels a million miles away, making it easy to procrastinate. The shift is from having a goal to adopting an identity. An identity is something you are. Don't have a goal to write a book. Adopt the identity of, I am a writer. Don't have a goal to work out 3 times a week. Adopt the identity of, I am an athlete. Don't have a goal to learn about deep work. Adopt the identity of, I am a deep worker. Do you see the difference? It's profound. When you have a goal, every action is a choice. When you have an identity, the choice is already made. I no longer had to ask myself, do I feel motivated to film a video today? I started asking, what does a creator do today? Well, a creator creates. The action is a natural byproduct of the identity. An athlete doesn't debate whether or not to train, it's just who they are. A writer writes even when they're not inspired. A deep worker eliminates distractions and focuses because that's their code. This is the key to unshakable confidence. Your confidence doesn't come from achieving the big goal. It comes from repeatedly proving to yourself through small daily actions that you are who you say you are. Every time you honor your identity with a small action, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. So how do you implement this? It's a simple 3-step process. 1. Decide who you want to be. Be specific. Not, I want to be successful, but I am a focused creator who produces value every day. 2. Prove it with small wins. What is the smallest possible action that reinforces this identity? A writer writes 1 paragraph. An athlete does 10 push-ups. A creator plans 1 video idea. 3. Make it a ritual. Anchor this action to a specific time each day. The first thing in the morning is powerful. Make it non-negotiable. This identity shift turns regret into a driving force. You're no longer dwelling on the past. You're embodying your future right now. But I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but starting is still the hardest part. And you're right. So let's make it easy.
The 10-minute activation protocol. Even with the right identity, there's a barrier we all face every single day. Activation energy. It's the initial burst of effort required to overcome inertia and start a difficult task. It's the reason why opening the laptop to work is harder than scrolling on your phone for another hour. Your brain is wired to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. My regret is rooted in succumbing to that resistance for 5 years, but I found a stupidly simple hack that bypasses it almost every time. I call it the 10-minute activation protocol. It's based on a simple premise. Your brain can agree to do almost anything for just 10 minutes. The idea of writing my book is overwhelming. The idea of working out for an hour is exhausting. But writing for 10 minutes or putting on my gym clothes and stretching for 10 minutes, that's manageable. Here is the exact, tactical way to use it. Step 1. The night before, define your one most important task. Don't wait until the morning to decide. Decision fatigue is real. Know exactly what you need to do to honor your identity. Step 2. Define the first physical step. Don't just write, work on project. Write, open the document named Project X and write the first sentence of the introduction. Be absurdly specific. Step 3. When it's time to start, set a timer for 10 minutes. This is crucial. It's a contract with your brain. You are only committing to 10 minutes. Step 4. For those 10 minutes, eliminate all distractions. Phone in another room, no email, no other tabs. Just you and the task. Here's the magic. The goal is not to finish the task in 10 minutes. The goal is to start. Once the timer goes off, you are free to stop. But 9 times out of 10, you won't. Newton's first law applies to productivity too. An object in motion stays in motion. Starting is the hardest part. The 10-minute rule is your launch sequence. So let's bring this all together. My biggest regret wasn't an event, it was a state of being. It was being trapped in the cycle of consumption over creation, waiting for a perfect moment that would never come. The shift, the one I wish I had made 5 years earlier, was moving from a goal-based mindset to an identity-based one. I stopped trying to achieve success and started being the person who was already successful. I became a creator, a deep worker, and the 10-minute rule became my daily tool to prove that identity to myself, building unshakable confidence one small, consistent action at a time. My biggest regret isn't the 5 years I lost. It's that I didn't realize the power to change was already inside me, waiting for permission to begin. Now you know the secret to starting and building momentum. But once you started, the next challenge is maintaining that focus and doing the kind of deep work that creates real breakthroughs. Most people, however, unknowingly sabotage their focus with 3 common habits. That's why I made a video breaking down exactly what they are, called the 3 deep work killers you're guilty of. It's the perfect next step on your journey. Click the video on the screen right now to watch it. If you're new here, subscribe and join our community of growth seekers who are ready to take action. Thank you for being here. Now go and let's forge a new you, one step at a time.